Hi Joaquin, it's Dennis. Long time no video, but here it is. I've been teaching a lot and I am practicing more, and so here's what I've been working with. I do have a couple of new pieces I want to be working on. They're the Schubert Impromptus number 2 and 3, the one that's got the scale. That one, and I thought that would be good because you're kind of working your hands on these scales. So in addition to playing it slow, at the regular speed as I'm learning it, I'm also just trying to do this scale very slow and feel every time I make a transition that the fifth finger is having that space. Whoops, it's hard to video when I'm playing. So I do some playing very slowly with that, but then of course I want to play it, at a musically more satisfying speed. And so I notice when I am doing that the fifth finger does join the fourth finger a lot, although I'm trying to just keep my hand fairly open and flat when I'm ever in a 5-finger scale, and not to kind of bunch it up too much like this, but when I'm playing this, to feel my hand over the whole groups of keys. And then it's got that middle section that's kind of good because you're sort of opened up. So it's written to hold the top note. And then when I go to the next one, that's when my finger tends to close. And then the next prelude, which I haven't worked on too much, but it's a beautiful G-flat one that kind of starts off like... And that's kind of forced me to keep my hands open. So that's my repertoire practice. What I've been doing with my other practice of practicing slowly, what I'm noticing is sometimes just at a table of sitting in a 5-finger position and just trying to lift the fifth finger out and then to come back down again. I've just finished a long day of teaching, so my hand's a little tired, it's a little more rebellious. Sometimes at the start of the day it's a little better, but I'm trying to keep it at this flat thing rather than curved, and when I go down, feel like I'm putting a longer flat finger down and aiming out. I find I have to press with these fingers a little bit to get the solidness in it. Sometimes if there's not enough tension in my hand, then I have to then it tends to retract a little bit. Then away from the piano and just in holding up my hand for a long time, I'm trying to be very sensitive of noticing the very second my fingers wanting to contract and just to open it up even farther. Now I'm really at even though my hand doesn't have a wide extension, I'm at a very full extension now, and there's a lot of tension in my hand. And so I find I can hold it there open a long time when I have this tension, and when I find this almost stretching past the point where I knew I could stretch. I'm doing that, and then gradually relaxing that, and then opening it up again and keeping that stretch there. I think I am able to hold it open longer, although it still is wanting to close, but I think I'm learning to keep it open longer than I could before. Then getting back to what I'm doing at the piano, when I have my fingers resting on the keys, I'm able to keep that nice space between fingers 5 and 4 a little better. It's when I'm opening my hand away from the keys that it's a little harder. So I sometimes just try to balance on one finger at a time, like balancing just on 4. And I sometimes have to like put a lot of tension and really straighten out the 5th finger to get it to stay in place, or balancing just on 3 and trying to keep my hand in a position, or balancing just on 2 and trying to keep my hand relatively straight. Of course, it's much easier in my left hand, and so in the work I do, I use my left hand as a guide. So you don't see all the tendons in my hands. There's so much tension to do that. So this is what I'm working on right now, and I guess the main question I have is whether whether I should be allowing this tension in my hand just to get it in the right position, because it seems if I don't allow that tension in my hand, then it's just, if I relax it, it's just going to contract. So that's what I'm trying to get at right now. Okay? Thanks.